we should be live. Give it a second. Okay. I think we're live now. Those of you that were here last week know that I made a big mistake thinking I was live for like 30 minutes reviewing whiskey with no one watching. So I should be live right now. So if you can see me and you can hear me, press F in the chat. Okay, Brendan says I'm good. Okay, just want to make sure up front this time instead of going the whole time without. So yeah, what's up, you guys? Thank you for stopping in. Great, good to see the Fs. Okay, and I did change something this time that I'm hopefully gonna have less of a lag between the chat and the stream. The quality might not be as good, but it makes it more real time. So hopefully I'll get to your comments and questions a lot quicker. Because before I was kind of relying on it being high quality, but I'd rather talk to you guys and not have such a lag than, you know, have the best quality video. Because, I mean, let's be real, I'm just sitting here in my bedroom. So what is up, Brandon and Eric? What are you guys up to tonight? Sipping on anything good? I just have some Elijah Craig I'm starting out with. Just want to keep it simple. It is a store pick. It's a 9-year-old Circus liquor store pick, but wanted to have something to kind of get me in that, you know, bourbon mood for the night. So, but yeah, I actually just got these new riffs in this week. I've been waiting patiently for them. I ordered them online like last week, and funny enough, my local store today posted that they just got them in stock. So at least the good thing is in the future, I don't have to order it and wait a week to get it. I can just walk in my store and grab it. So that's always good news. But yeah, I had no problem ordering this. The guy was really cool. The guy that runs it's called Sealbox. I'm not sure how well known they are, but they do a lot of like craft distilleries, shipping them nationally. And the guy who actually runs the whole thing is the one that answers their emails. So he answered a lot of my questions. You know, he gave me some info about like some single barrel picks they have coming up. So really good to support them. So I may still keep ordering from them, even though I can get it locally. Brandon says, relaxing, trying to stay cool with the stupid heat wave. It is hot. I dropped my car off today to get washed. And I had to walk. Basically, I can get it washed like near my work. It's like 2 blocks from my work. But walking from the car wash to work was dreadful today. It's like 96 degrees up here. So yeah, that was not fun. But and Eric, you just poured New Riff single barrel. Good choice. I don't have the single barrel with me today. I picked up a couple bottles of the single barrel bourbon, but those are for a few friends. I got advised by Swan. He said for me to wait until I get to Kentucky and then get a really good store pick of the single barrel. So I'm going to hold out on that one until then, especially with the new single barrel rye that just came out. That's not in stock locally yet. So figured I'd wait till I get to Kentucky to try those. But I just have the bottled in bond bourbon here. So just that one, and then the bottled in bond rye. By the way, these bottles, I know I said it in the chat, but they're so sexy. I love the matte black like gradient thing that's going on here. So kudos to them for this awesome bottle. But yeah, just wanted to sip a little on this for a while we waited for people to gather and made sure things were actually streaming this time. I'm gonna refresh this page real quick just to make sure it's the updated number of viewers, because I'm showing 4 on here and 1 up there. Okay, there we go. Cool, see myself. All right, so just stopping in to say hi, out and about running errands, loving the new riff. Yes, I've heard so many people recommend it. I had to grab bottles of it, so thank you for stopping in, though. It's good to see you. Cool. There's just like 2 of the chats going on. Oh well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into, what should I start with? I imagine I should start with the bourbon, right? That was like their first release. That's probably a good starting point for the night. Eric, you said you're drinking single barrel. Are you drinking the bourbon or the rye? The single barrel. Not sure how like much the distribution is of the new single barrel rye, but figure I'll start with bourbon. But if you're drinking the rye, I'll start with the rye. Just don't wanna pour this out yet. I love Elijah Craig. Oh, what's up, Bourbon Buddies? Good to see you. It's been a while. Yeah, you guys are good. If you guys want to like catch the replay later, it should be up like an hour after the stream. So if you want to hear my thoughts on it, that'd be cool if you could stick around. Or those of you that are watching the replay right now, hey, what's up? So I'll stop dilly-dallying and get to the review. So by the way, I'm using these new glasses. I guess they're called like official Kentucky Bourbon Trail glasses, or at least that's what. Sorry, that was probably loud for you guys. I just know my like mic just peaked. They are. That's at least that's what they're labeled as on Amazon. So they're probably not quite official, but I actually like them a lot. They allow. I love the opening on them. They give you like a really good grasp of the nose or something. I usually use my Tribeca glasses, but lately I've just been liking these a lot. I think, especially when I'm reviewing something where I want like big, bold, like notes to begin with, because usually with like Glencairns and Tribeca glasses, it takes a while for the nose to rise up. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I interpret it, but I just really like these glasses. So, oh, Eric says this is the official glass. Okay, cool. I just didn't know if it was just like marketing terms, whatever, but it came like a wood slab. Yeah, I thought they were really cool too. I was in the market to get new glasses because we've already broken two of our Tribeca glasses. I was thinking about getting Glencairns, but I'm like, the shape of them is just not my favorite. And I saw these pop up. I'm like, you know what? I'll give them a try. And so far, I'm loving them. So, you grabbed one in Kentucky in February. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, they're really affordable too. I forgot how much I paid, but it comes with like a nice like set with. I think it's like $30 for four. It could be less. I don't remember exactly, but I like them a lot. Okay, this was the Elijah Craig. I just realized, was it? Hold on. May have messed things up. Wow, hold on. um, I'm confused. Okay, let me go ahead and pour. Let me pour this one out. I can't. No, I'm pretty sure this is Elijah Craig. Try the New Orleans glasses. I would. They're expensive though. I don't know if I'm willing to put that much money into it right now. Just trying to make sure which. I wasn't paying attention when I poured it. Screw it. To be fair, I'm just gonna dump them and just re-pour it because. Well, good news is if you like Elijah Craig, you'll like New Riff because it tastes very similar when I'm trying to wanted to just learn to pay attention when you're doing a live stream. They were both really good though, so let's for sure have the New Riff this time. They hold up real. That's my hold up as well. The prices of the Nolans kill you. Yeah. Do you want to bring them with me? Yeah, I mean if they're not too fragile to bring in the car, I'd love to try drinking out of it just to see, because I hear great things about it, but never tried them. So yeah, I'd love to. Okay, this is the New Riff Bourbon. I don't know. I just got confused and like I couldn't decide back and forth which one was it or the Elijah Craig. So because they both have a real. I mean, the reason I poured Elijah Craig is I think not necessarily just their store picks, but like their bourbon is the quintessential bourbon. Like if you're trying to get bourbon notes on something, Elijah Craig's like a good standard. It has all of the right things. So I was getting that on both of them. So at least that means they're both good. So let's go ahead and give this a nose. Yeah, there's a lot of those baking spices, which is something I get on Elijah Craig, which is why I was so confused. Yeah, it's very desserty, and I would say like bready almost. Their mash bill is actually, I think it's really cool that they're honest with their mash bill. They're honest. Well, first of all, it's bottled in bond, so it's at least 4 years old. It says spring 2015. The bottle tells you so much stuff. Aged at least 4 years. 65% corn, 30% rye, and 5% malted barley. Okay, so it's a pretty high rye mash bill. Not necessarily like the highest, but definitely a good bit of rye in there. But that's not what comes through the most on the nose. I get a lot of the corns, the sweet corn notes that I really like about a good baseline bourbon. Eric says the Denver and Lily bourbon glass is worse on price. That was $50 for one glass. What? What is the Denver and Lily whatever bourbon glass? That's ridiculous. I thought the New Orleans glasses were ridiculous for like 40, but like that's $50, and it's something I've never heard of too. So it's like, are they just trying to like market towards people that want high end glasses? I don't know. Oh, Brandon, yours is fall 2014. Interesting. Yeah, this is my first pickup from them, and I guess it's just what the guy had in stock. So, yeah, I imagine their earlier stuff. Although maybe was their earlier stuff any younger? I guess it would have been younger because this just says at least 4 years. So maybe it's the same stuff, just maybe a year older potentially. Let's go ahead and give it a taste though. Now it's funny because I was thinking that the other one tasted so much like Elijah Craig, but now that I know for sure that this one is the new Riff, completely different. um, this is really that high proof does a lot for it. And it has like I say citrus, I get like almost like I'm drinking an old fashioned. Like there's like this like citrusy. I guess what do you call it when you like use like the back end, like fancy bartenders use like the back end of the orange peel and they like spritz it on there. Zest maybe. It's almost like a citrus zest, so it's almost like bitter in that way, but it has a lot of those fruity notes. I don't really get that on the nose though. Yeah, on the nose it's just like baked goods, like really good, like a baked apple pie or something like that. Maybe even like a, yeah, like a peach cobbler. But yeah, it's really good on the nose and on the taste. That's so good. And you guys that were there in the chat, I was blown away when I first tried this. I had to open up the bottle 2 days ago when I got it in the mail. Um, but I was completely blown away by how good this whiskey is. I got it for $40, and at that price point, I'm really trying to think of anything that would really beat it. Of course, like the higher proof, like barrel proofs, like Elijah Craig barrel proof or Booker's, at $60 to $70. Of course, they'll beat it, but I can't think of anything $40 or like anything $50 or less that would beat this. What do you guys think? Do you guys like New Riff? I know a lot of you in the chat have said that you really like it, so I'm curious to know what you guys think. Oh, so Eric says you've looked into it. It's not all hype. Oh, interesting. It was designed by Australians, and the guy at Bourbon Junkies love it. It's a beautiful glass, but very pricey. I need to look into it. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I wasn't trying to be too dismissive of it. But yeah, that's just I'm just cheap, y'all. Like I cringe every time I buy a whiskey over $60. I'm not at that point yet where I just want to like blow all my money. I mean, I did, although there was a Kickstarter I backed recently. I don't know if you guys saw, but it was like a travel I guess like a decanter. So like it's like a glass decanter, but it fits into this like metal casing and it's meant to travel with. I thought it was so cool, and it was like $50. I'm like, that's such a cool idea. I'm gonna support them. So I'm excited at that. That's not probably my most expensive barware. Brandon, haven't opened your bottle yet. Oh, why not, man? I mean, you can try it. Yeah, you can try it tomorrow or Saturday. Are you save? Or you just have too many open bottles, or is it just like a special occasion? I don't know. I'm just curious because, yeah, I would consider this not necessarily something I would want to hold on to, just because I don't think it's like the most amazing thing ever. But it's probably, if I can get it readily available for $40 to $45, yeah, this would be my go-to. Not like everyday bourbon. It's a little pricey for that, but like if I want something that I'm like, it's a damn good bourbon, I would pull out this bottle. I don't know. I like it a lot. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going back to the nose on it. It's so I don't. I mean, I do get it on the taste. It does have like that brown sugar, baked good note on the taste, but on the nose, it's so bready and desserty. I just love that. That's one of my favorite notes. Other than like, now it doesn't really have the other thing that I love, which is like a oak, like a barrel spice. I guess I would say like a deep oak flavor. I love that in some older Knob Creeks. I don't get that on this. Again, it's a 4-year-old product. It's not. It's not gonna have that really deep oaky note. It's just not gonna happen. But I do get. I mean, I do get some barrel, especially on the finish. I do get a lot of the barrel, but that's the only thing I feel like this is missing. I hate to say missing because they're a small distillery. They're not gonna have 13-year-old whiskey or 14-year-old whiskey like Knob Creek does. I imagine, hopefully, they'll eventually release like a 10-year-old product or something. I would love that. I think that would take all the great things that they're doing already and combine it with the other things I love about older whiskey. So, Brandon says, I'm the weirdo who doesn't like to have too many bottles open. I'm getting better at having more open at a time. No, don't get better. That's my problem. I have way too many open bottles. I only have like 4, 5, maybe 6 bottles that I haven't opened. And not even because those are rare. Some of those are just like backup to backups of bottles. So, yeah, no, my problem is I open too many of them, and I get stressed out because I'm like, oh no, it's getting to the halfway point. It's going to start to go, not go bad, but you guys know, like oxidize or whatever. So, um, it's funny. Brandon said he wish that, I'm just always afraid the bourbon will go bad. See, I get stressed out about that too. I look at all my open bottles and I'm like, oh, I have too many open bottles right now. Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but yeah, no, I get that same way too. And I have gotten a few that I haven't opened yet, only for the reason that I have so many open bottles. So, I feel you on that. But these guys, I mean, I was so excited to try this. I had opened both of them. It's just, it depends on the bottle. But if it's something that like I can find pretty regularly, or I'm not planning to review it, I'll leave it closed for now. So, Brandon, lucky for you, I have lots of bottles open. So anything that's open is free game. So, yeah, there's probably some few things you haven't tried. And you probably had most of it, but some of it you might not have tried. So happy to have you over. You're like the first bourbon liking person that's came to my place and tried my stuff, because every time I invite friends over, I give them even the simplest of bourbon, like an Evan Williams 1783, like a 46% alcohol. But can't handle it. I even bought Woodford for some friends because I'm like, this is the bourbon that got me into bourbon. Maybe they'll love it. No. They had to pour sour mix in it. I'm like, okay. Which, I mean, you know, do you. Like, I'm at least thankful that they tried it. So, yeah, Eric says, as long as your bottles are half full, you shouldn't have any issues at all. Thankfully, I'm always sharing everything with anyone else. See, Eric, that's my problem. I don't have people to stop by. None of my friends like whiskey. Back in Charleston, I actually recently learned that my HR director at my work, she is a big whiskey fan. I mean, she's not into it like as much as I am, but she does like it. And I asked her, like, you know, what's one of the best ones you've tried? And she said, like, I had E.H. Taylor before and I really liked it. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, you're not just saying like, you know, Jack Daniels or something like that. Like you actually know your stuff. So yeah, I almost wish I was back in Charleston so I could like bring her samples and stuff. That would be really seems like bring your HR manager samples of whiskey at work. I don't know. No, she's cool, but it's all going. Can't wait for you to try the Dusty Turkey. Ah, God, I'm so looking forward to that. It's definitely interesting. Yeah, I mean, even, you know, if it's not like the most amazing tasting thing ever, I just always wanted to try something like that. So I really appreciate you bringing that. I'm gonna, I'll save a little. Like, my husband will be here too, so he'll definitely want to try it too, because he's the one that actually noticed the decanters that I sent the picture of. For those of you that don't know, I actually just picked up two, I think it's like 1970s Wild Turkey decanters at a flea market here at the Rose Bowl. It's actually a really big flea market, by the way. If you're out in the Los Angeles area, totally recommend it. It's the best flea market I've seen since being on the West Coast. But they had two 1970s, or I think it's 70s or 80s, Brandon, you probably know, era Wild Turkey decanters. And they are really cool, but they're empty. And Brandon, fortunately, also has the same decanter, but he had a full one. So he's gracious enough to bring me a sample of it. So really looking forward to trying that one. And I know my husband will like split the sample of it. So yeah, really appreciate that, man. Eric, thankfully I have friends who want to get into the spirit, so I'm always sending them home with samples and cheat sheets to explain what they're having and what flavors look for. See, I have a friend. Okay, they're a couple. The girl in the couple, she just drinks vodka and like mixes, like she puts very little vodka in her drinks, so, which is cool. I mean, if that's like your limit, go for it. But the guy, I hate to say the guy, because I think he watches my videos. Danny, if you're out there, hey, what's up? He's at least curious about it, and every time he's came over and I'm like, hey, try this one and try this one and try this one. He still can't get into drinking it neat, which is totally cool. He did drink the Woodford on the Rocks for the first time, and he didn't hate it. He mixed it with like a sour mix though and drank it more. So I left the bottle at his place. Hopefully I can get him to get a little more into it, just because I really want someone to share that interest with out here in LA. I mean, fortunately, again, my husband really likes whiskey, so I have him. So I know a lot of you guys out there with like girlfriends or like wives or whatever, they just can't get into it. I'm fortunate that I have that. So Brandon says, sounds like my wife. Vodka mixed with cranberry juice and lemonade. Hey, not dissing, because when I first started drinking, sorry, I'm a little burpy. When I first started drinking, vodka cranberries were my go-to. Every time I was at a bar, vodka cranberry. And then eventually I think I just got sick of the taste of cranberry juice. Now I can't even make it at home. I don't know. It's just not my thing. But yeah, No shame in that. And then lemonade, I would mix like I would get. So my thing that I learned in Puerto Rico, it was like I went to Puerto Rico shortly after turning 21, and I got the Bacardi, I guess limon or citron, whatever it's called, and I mixed that with like Minute Maid lemonade. That's a good drink. So totally understand you there. But yeah, let me get one last taste of this bourbon, and we'll move on to the rye because I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm making up for lost time from last week. How about that? So. You have a cocktail for us, Eric. Okay, yeah, share. I love experimenting with cocktails. I mean, I went through a phase, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, where during the week I would not drink whiskey neat. I would just make cocktails. Trying to convince myself to like slow down during the week. But no, I tried a lot of really interesting mixes. Usually those stuck to like the basics, the old fashions, the Manhattans. Tried a Sazerac, really like that. But I bought what is it called? Herb Saint. It's similar to absinthe, but it's like a anise flavored liqueur, and you basically rinse the glass with that, add rye whiskey and I think vermouth. I'll double check the recipe, but that was a really interesting drink. I would probably rather have a Manhattan personally, but yeah, no, cocktails are cool. So please, Eric, share your recipe because I am always looking for new cocktails. Let me rinse my glass real quick before I get the rye. Muddled berries, whatever you like, add mint leaves and lemonade, mix and strain, and add bourbon of choice with some ice in the glass. Fantastic indeed. That sounds awesome. Yeah, so I actually, one thing that I have never had, but I did have something similar to it. So I always hear, you guys probably see, Perry always mentions bourbon lemonade. Now, I have never tried that before, but I did have some cans of Minute Maid Light lemonade, so I'm like, I'm going to mix this with bourbon. Don't do it. It's a mistake. It's nasty. You taste the artificial lemon flavor. The bourbon doesn't hold up. It's just not a good drink. But I actually, my husband actually works for Starbucks, so they have like a lemonade concentrate that they have there. He brought some of it home. I guess it was going bad in a couple of days. And I took some of that, mixed it with bourbon, and added some water to kind of dilute it down a little bit because the lemonade was so strong. But I really like that. So I'm like, okay, I see why people like bourbon and lemonade. So, Eric, that's awesome. So it's basically kind of a similar thing, but you add some mint and muddled berries. That is good to know. I would love to like revisit that when I have more of that concentrate. So bring you some coffee. No, I'm every time he leaves work, like on weekends, when like sometimes weekends he opens the store, so he's off at he gets to work at like 5 and he's off at like 9:30. So like right after I wake up, so I'm like, bring me venti dark roast coffee or something. So yeah, no, I abuse his employment there. He actually gets a free bag of coffee every week. So he always brings that home. So we always have coffee at the house. So yeah, so coffee, I love coffee. So Eric says the best thing in the heat: pitcher of good lemonade with some great bourbon. Recipe for disaster though. I bet. Like, God, I've never made like cocktails in large quantities. I've always wanted to make like a punch or like a there's like a bourbon Rita like recipe where it's like a margarita but with bourbon. I've wanted to make that and bring to an event, but I never have gotten around to it. We do like there's like a local whiskey group that does meetups here in Southern California, and I've thought about making some kind of like a punch for them. But they're the type that drink peated Scotch neat and like crave more of it. So I don't know if they want like a punchy thing, but maybe for my friends that don't really like bourbon, maybe I'll sneak some bourbon into some cocktails and bring it to them. Maybe they'll like it. That was just the water, by the way. I'm emptying my glass so I can pour me some of the new Riff Rye. Now, this is interesting. It's also aged at least 4 years old. It's a bottled and bond rye. Now, the only other bottled and bond rye that I can think of is Rittenhouse rye. I'm sure there are other ones out there, but Rittenhouse is one of those barely legal ryes. Now, I love Rittenhouse. That was my go-to rye for the longest time for cocktails. And it probably still is. I just haven't revisited it in a while. This, though, is 95% rye and 5% malted rye. So 100% rye. They just add the malted one, which I guess helps with like the distillation process. But Eric says, I'm working on a bourbon slushy. If I get it right, I'll send you the recipe. Yes, please. That sounds like summer's almost over. I need one last good summer cocktail to get through the season. So let's go ahead and pour the rye. I tried the bourbon first, by the way. I tried the bourbon 2 nights ago, and I tried the rye last night. So this is my first time trying them back to back. So I'm curious to compare them. You guys still? So Eric, which of the new riffs did you say you had? You had the single barrel. It's the bourbon, right? You probably answered. I missed the answer. How is that? Is it like a store pick, or is it like a just like the regular single barrel bourbon? Because like I said, there are a few friends out here that wanted me to grab the single barrel bourbon for them. So hopefully they'll let me try it, but we'll see. But yeah, the rye on the nose, this is 100% rye. Now, the thing I keep comparing it to, and I did the same last night, you guys know I love George Dickel rye. I can get it for $17 or under, and it's not complicated, but it's sourced. It's MGP rye, 95% rye, and it's like, I think it said 6 to 7 years aged. They don't release an age statement, but people have predicted it's like, maybe it's like 4 to 7. I don't know exactly the age range on it. On the nose, this is very similar. This is actually, you gotta think about it, this is younger than Dickel Rye, and Dickel Rye is $17. This bottle is $50. That's kind of pricey. Now, Eric says, I've had all the releases. I love the single barrel. It's just the regular release, but it got a good one. Good, man. That's all good to hear. I know some people say that some of the single barrels aren't, they don't hit the mark, but that's good to hear that you've gotten good ones. So, yeah. But, so my thing about this is it's $50. My go-to favorite rye over $40 has got to be Michter's Barrel Strength Rye. I don't think I've had anything that compares to. Okay, I say I haven't had anything that compares. I've had Booker's Rye, but that doesn't count because Booker's Rye. I mean, come on, that doesn't count. But Michter's Barrel Strength Rye has been my favorite. It's $80 around here, kind of pricey, but to me, I think it's more than worth it. So that's kind of my gold standard when it comes to rye. And then when I go for like a budget rye, I always get Dickel Rye. I love that like 95% rye in it. I think it's a very interesting note that like normally I'd reach for a bourbon. You guys know I'm a bourbon fan, but occasionally I'm in the mood for rye. So let's see how the new riff. I said that weird. New riff. My husband's mad because he wants it to be called New Rift. He doesn't like the word riff. But let's see how it compares. And again, $50. So hopefully it's good. Coming back to it a second time, last night I wasn't really feeling it. Maybe I was just in a mood last night. Yeah, I mean, you guys know, sometimes you'll drink something and it'll be the best thing ever, and sometimes you'll drink it like, it's not really that good. So on the nose, this nose is very, very similar to the Dickel Rye. It has maybe a little bit more. I get more of the oak on it, even though it's younger, and I think that's probably because it's higher proof. I usually get that on higher proof whiskeys. I do get that like minty, grassy note I always get on ryes, which again I'm a fan of. I don't dislike that note. So the nose is very similar to the Dickel Rye. So let's go ahead and taste it. Right? I know I just tasted it, but let's talk about the taste of it. Again, also having better opinions on the new Riff Rye compared to last night. Because, like I said, I did a little taste test last night. Wasn't feeling it. I was kind of pissed off that I spent $50 on this when I could just get another Dickel Rye. But coming back to it, would I buy another of just the regular bottled and bond rye? Probably not personally. Now, it's good. Don't take this as me saying it's not good. And, like, if you have a bottle of it, Brandon, I know you said earlier, don't get disappointed. It's good, but it's not my favorite rye for the price point. I mean, if I was trying to pick something between Dickel Rye and Michter's Rye, I would probably go Rittenhouse or Pikesville. Yes, they're barely legal ryes, but so is Michter's. I like this, but not enough to feel like it's like a definite always have in the house. The bourbon, though, however, for $40, this is, if I can keep getting it for $40, I'll be more than happy. And I am curious to try the single barrel bourbon. So it may be, like I said, I'm going to wait till I can get a store pick of it versus like a, just like taking my chances of getting the regular release of it. But their bottle and bond bourbon, no, I think this is. I see why this is so popular. It's such a good baseline, and they're $40. I mean, you gotta think they are a new distillery. They're not like Heaven Hill or, you know, Buffalo Trace. They're a small distillery. They're putting out good stuff. So I am a big fan of what they're doing out here, or out there. um, so Bourbon Buddy says, sometimes just coming back the next day definitely helps, but at $50, that's tough if it isn't knocking your socks off. I feel you. Yeah, man, like I said, the bourbon for $40, sorry, there's like, I have like 2 gnats that still live in my apartment, and they always come when I when I pour bourbon, so they must like bourbon. But yeah, $50, like, I like it. It's really good. If you pour me this, I would drink this all night. But buying another bottle for $50, I think I'd either rather save another $30 for the Michter's barrel strength or cheap out and get some more Dickel. So again, that's for the rye. The bourbon, though, let me go ahead and finish this real quick. Now, disclaimer, I forgot to mention this. So after I tried it neat last night, the rye, I actually put it into a cocktail, and I made an old-fashioned. So usually when I make an old-fashioned, I use bourbon. With Manhattans, I use a rye usually, but I usually use bourbon with an old-fashioned. But something last night, I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling this neat. Let me try it in an old-fashioned. And let me tell you, it made a fantastic old-fashioned. One of the best ones I've had, actually. Which makes me want to start using ryes more often in old fashions. Because like I said, I use them in Manhattans. I think it carries over, like the fruitiness works really well with it. But I didn't expect an old fashioned to taste this good with a rye. So yeah, I mean, if nothing else, I mean, I'll still drink this neat. I think it's really good. But in an old fashioned or in a cocktail, this is really good. Like it's probably what it's going to be used for the most right now until I get through this bottle. So Eric says, that's been my thoughts with Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. It hits me wrong now, but I keep coming back trying to enjoy it. Yeah, what batch do you have, Eric? I've only tried 2 batches so far. Yeah. So my first batch of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof was A118. So it was like the A batch of last year. And I didn't like it. Oh, so you have the A119. Okay, so A118 last year was my first Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I got it, and I'm like, it's good, but like, I don't get all the hype. And I actually stumbled across the C918, tried that one, and was blown away. So I think it really does depend on the batch, Eric. I do encourage you to try another batch of it. And I hate to admit this, I have 2 full backup bottles of it, and one that I've only like taken a couple drinks from. So I just thought that was the best release I've ever had from them. I know their new stuff is apparently good too, but that was just kind of the first one that I was like, oh wow, this is so good, and I can get it for $60 out here. So I definitely encourage you trying another batch, and that goes with any bourbon, like you said, like the new Riff. Try like Brandon said he had the 2014 batch of the new Riff, so maybe each year it gets better or gets worse. Who knows? So try to hold off a bit. Car tires needed today. Oh yeah, that sucks. Fortunately, I only had to do that once, and I didn't even have to do it. So I leased a car while I was in Charleston, and my lease ended right around the time that I was moving to California, and I thought that it would need the tires replaced because the tread was getting really low on it. So I took it to a body shop, and not a body shop. Sorry, I was thinking about something else. I took it to a tire place, like a place known for their tires. Dropped it off. I'm like, hey, replace the back 2 tires and rotate them and everything. Came back. They didn't do it. They said, like, no, your tires are fine. So I'm like, okay. So I turned it in the lease, and yeah, apparently the tires are fine. So I don't know. They're very strict with returning leases, so I feel you. Luckily, I've never had to actually replace them. But Brandon says the store near me has the C918 for $70. Yeah, I mean it's $60 in Los Angeles, Brandon, but it's not available anymore. They had it for a while, but they're sold out of it now. So $70 is not bad. I would pay $70 for it. I think it's that good. So Eric has the 2014 bottled in bond bourbon from New Riff, and I have a 2015 single barrel. Both are wonderful. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, like I said, their bourbon. Actually, I'm gonna pour me one last glass of the bourbon. That's definitely hands down my favorite thing from them. I would love to try the single barrel rye. I've heard it's incredible, but right now just the Bottled and Bond Rye doesn't really. I wouldn't buy it again. I'm not. I hate to keep saying that, but I don't want you guys to think I don't like it. I do like it, but I don't think I'd pay 50 for it again. Yes, I'd pay 50 for it to try it, which is what I did, but I don't think I would pay that again. So, bourbon though, yes, please pour me some more. um, yeah, Brandon, I'm excited for you to try these when you get here. I think you'll really be really impressed with the bourbon. Coming back to the bourbon after the rye, actually, which is something I really wanted to do because I tried them on their own. That bourbon, Eric, tell me if I'm exaggerating, but their bourbon is some of the best bourbon I've had. Like, I don't know. I know I said this earlier, but like, I can't think of a better $40 bourbon. I love Henry McKenna 10-year. I still have a backup bottle of that one as well as the bottle that's open. Um, but that is hard to find these days. And I would compare this equally as good as Henry McKenna 10-year. Like, and Henry McKenna 10-year was my favorite for the longest time. That wasn't like a cask strength whiskey. So, yeah, I think I found my new favorite non-cask strength, non-budget bourbon. My favorite budget bourbon is still probably Evan Williams Bottled and Bond or maybe Wild Turkey 101, depending on the mood. I like to have both of those on hand. But no, anything mid-range, this definitely is the best thing I've had in a long time. And I think a lot of people will agree. I mean, it's a lot of people that have access to this really love it. I think it's not really caught on with the general public yet because it's just not available. I had to order it for some guy in Florida to get it. Now, of course, today, like a week and a half after I order it, it becomes available in California. But for the longest time, I had to order it from someone else. So Eric says you're not exaggerating. It's just delicious. Just enough complexity to keep it interesting, but not so attention grabbing that you can't do other things while drinking it. Absolutely. And you know what? That was actually my first thought. I just noticed my microphone's really hot right now. I'm sorry about that, you guys. Turn it out a little bit. Maybe that's a little bit better. But I just keep seeing I can tell whenever I peak my microphone, so I keep being too loud for you guys. So turn it down a little bit. But no, that's actually my first thought. I was thinking that this is just as complex. Not just as complex. That's exaggerating. Almost as complex as a barrel proof whiskey. And I've never gotten that on a 100 proof whiskey. I mean, Henry McKenna almost, but I even think this is more complex than Henry McKenna 10-year. I may like the flavor profile of Henry McKenna 10-year about the same, but complexity-wise, this is one of the most complex whiskeys I've had, and it's $40. Like, I can't believe that. Oh no, Juan. My place. Hey, if you ever want more of it, my place right now has it for $12.99. So, let me know. The first time I saw that price, they for the longest time they had it for like $18. They have Wild Turkey 101 right now. They've had it that way for like a month now for $12.99. You guys in Kentucky and you guys like in other parts of the world are probably pissed because even in South Carolina it was like $18 to $20 all the time. So yeah, let me know if you want some wild turkey. I can bring you a case of it for the next meetup. But yeah, I'm shocked. And the funny thing is, so for $12.99 you can get a 750 milliliter of it. For $11.99 you could get a 375 milliliter of it. It makes no sense. You know what's even funnier? Their Wild Turkey 81, like the base level Wild Turkey, is more expensive than Wild Turkey 101. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense at all. You might have to be your middleman. Yeah, dude, let me know. Seriously. I would be happy to pick you up, as much as I don't know how long they're going to keep that price. I think they're going to realize eventually, wait, why are we selling this for $13? I think Wild Turkey has a reputation. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I had an experience when I was actually in a grocery store, and I was looking at a Wild Turkey because I thought it might be an older bottle. I was looking at the label date and whatever. And this older guy, he was like 40 or 50 years old. He looked at me, he's like, oh, Wild Turkey, I remember that from my college days. I got so messed up on that. I think Wild Turkey 101 has a reputation, especially for older people, as being the college bourbon. And I think that's why it's dismissed. I don't think a lot of people buy it, to be honest. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? Brandon says, here's an interesting question. What if new Riff Bourbon peaks at around 4 years? What if it doesn't get better with age? You know, see, Brandon, I I think that would be okay too. Eric, I agree with you because I long for more of the oaky flavors, which is like my favorite note in bourbon, which is why I love older Knob Creek. You guys know that, but this does miss out on that. Like on the nose, you don't get any oak. On the taste, it's there. I mean, obviously it's there. It's a bourbon, but the thing that I love about old Knob Creeks and Henry McKenna, that oak, that just barrel char is so forward on the flavor profile. This does lack that. And, you know, that kind of is funny because when I was tasting it on Tuesday, I was thinking, like, this just tastes young. I don't know why it tastes young. It's not that it tastes like young oak. I just can't figure out why it's young. I think it tastes young because it's not old oak. And it doesn't taste young. I quickly dismissed that thought, but I knew there was something that tasted young about it, and I think that's because I'm so used to these older Knob Creek picks being my favorite bourbon currently, that it did taste not quite as good as that. So, but then again, this is a completely different category of whiskey, so, yeah, but this is, honestly, the reason I brought the Elijah Craig out tonight, for the longest time, this has been my, this is just regular. I mean, it's a store pick, but it's just like the regular proof of it. This has been my go-to. If I want to set my palate to liking bourbon, this is my go-to. This takes all the great things about regular Elijah Craig and amps it up, which is funny because that's what I would say about Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Of course, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is better than this. I mean, none of you can, okay, Eric, you can deny it because you literally said you don't like Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, but most people that like Elijah Craig Barrel Proof will say that this isn't as good. It's not, but it's also $40. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is $60 to $70. So, yeah, no, I really do like this, and I'm going to be keeping this stocked as long as I can find it for about $40. And I'm so glad that I can find it locally now, so. That's pretty much all I really have to say about it, but if you guys want to hang around, I'd love to just chat about whatever, ask me questions. Yeah, anything. I'm also curious to try this little mixture I created of Elijah Craig and New Riff Bourbon. That kind of goes with what I was saying. Like, I love both of them. Let's see how they taste together. You know? Wow. Oh, shit. Wait. um... I was reading your messages, but that New Riff mixed with Elijah Craig, great. It tastes like it came from the same distillery. It's so similar. Like I said, I thought it was similar, which is why I was confused. I'm like, I don't want to think I'm reviewing the New Riff and it actually be the Elijah Craig. Those flavors work really well together. So cool little experiment for you guys if you have an open bottle. Mix some Elijah Craig, maybe barrel proof too, with New Riff. It's really good bourbon. Like, it doesn't taste like a mixture. It doesn't taste like a blend. It just tastes like a really good bourbon. Yeah, so glad to hear the good news on the New Riff. Can't wait. Yeah, man, I got your bottle. So you were the one. Yeah, you were the one that got the same ones that I did, right? You did like the New Riff, Bourbon and Rye and Bourbon and Bourbon. Yeah, I have those for you. So. Eric says, currently working my palate up to Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Hopefully tonight is the night. Yeah, no, I mean, again, I don't know. I haven't had the A119, so maybe it's not the, I love, by the way, you know, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I switched it to low latency, so I see your messages a lot quicker. Juan, I saw your yep, like, less than 20 seconds after I asked that question, so I'm going to keep this mode from now on. As long as you guys aren't having problems with, like, buffering and it's not, like, losing signal or anything, I really like the fact that I can, like, ask you a question and, like, get a response, like, so quickly. So, gonna use that mode from now on. That's good to hear. So, Eric, oh, yeah, what I was saying was minor buffering. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if it's unbearable, that was one of the caveats when I was reading about it. It says your viewers may experience buffering. So, Yeah, so that's good to know, Brandon. But if it gets too unbearable, I definitely won't use it though, moving forward. So, yeah, Eric. Sorry, what I was saying was don't force yourself to like that batch of Elijah Craig. If you don't like that batch, you won't like it. I didn't like A118. I threw it out, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get Elijah Craig barrel proof for a long time. Then I got the C918. I'm like, oh, I get it now. So, yeah. So, um, it happened like 4 times, Brandon. Okay. Yeah, if I'll mention that next stream. If anyone has any buffering issues, I can change. I think I can even change it midstream. We'll see. But I saw your message earlier, Brandon. You said, "Have you decided which distilleries you're going to in October?" No. So I'm still trying to figure out that trip. So for those of you that don't know, I am actually going to Kentucky in October, the end of October. I'm going out there mainly because I'm going to the It's Bourbon Nights live stream. No live stream. I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry, a couple drinks in. Um, so I'm going to It's Bourbon Nights meetup. Brandon, you said you got yours all booked. Wait, so you're going in November. I was like, oh, wait, you're going the same time I am? Yeah, no, I'm going in end of October for It's Bourbon Nights live event. I keep saying live event. I don't know why I'm saying that. They're doing a meetup. They're in-person event. For me, it's the same thing. They're doing a meetup basically Friday night, all day Saturday and Sunday. So with that meetup, we're going to, which I'll give them a little shout out, as if you guys don't know, but I'll maybe look it on YouTube. If you don't know what's Bourbon Night, they're a cool YouTube channel, and they do whiskey reviews as a couple, Chad and Sarah. Go check them out. You guys, obviously, you guys know them, but made me look good. Make them think I'm promoting them, so they give me some special treatment and give me some special side pours. So, so the meetup so far, as much as I know, is we are going to meet up Friday night, and we're going to do a ghost tour of Buffalo Trace. Now, a Friday night in October, right before Halloween, that sounds like an awesome trip. Now, I don't know how much of like the distillery, like the process of like, here's how we make bourbon, we're going to know, but I think that's a great start to the meetup. And then Saturday, we're actually taking a party bus down. I think it's a party bus down to Bardstown. And we're gonna go to 1792. What is the distillery of that? I'm trying to name the distillery. The distillery that makes 1792. We're gonna do a tasting there, but we're also gonna go to Heaven Hill, like do the full distillery tour. We're gonna go to Weller and do not Weller. Hold on, I'll pull this up real quick for you guys. I keep a list of all the things I'm doing with them, so I just in case you're curious, I'd love to share what we all do. So, oh, Eric, okay, you have a good friend drinking my whiskey. A friend talking about hop off soon. All right, Eric, thanks so much for showing up, though. I really appreciate hanging out with you. I always enjoy hanging out with you. So, cool. Hopefully, I'll see you when I'm in Kentucky. Let me pull up this list of where we're going. So. Yes. Oh, Barton. Barton is the distillery that does 1792. We're doing a tasting with them. We're also going to do a tour and tasting of Lux Row Distillery. Now, they're the ones that put out Old Ezra barrel proof, to mention, just because that's like my favorite thing that I've ever gotten from them. So we're doing that. So the distilleries I'm going to is Buffalo Trace, Lux Row, Barton, Heaven Hill. Now, I am splitting my trip. I'm going to go to Lexington area the first 3 nights, and then I'm going to go to Louisville area the next 3 nights. So I really, really want to go to obviously Buffalo Trace. Woodford Reserve, I've heard their grounds are amazing. Wild Turkey, Four Roses, they're right beside each other. It just makes sense to go to them together. I kind of want to go to Castle and Key. Not as excited to go to Castle and Key as I was before Marianne Barnes, or whatever her name is, stepped down. I was really into it after hearing her interviews and things like that. I don't know anymore. I may not stop by there. We'll see. But I've heard their grounds are amazing too. So here's my dilemma. I have to talk to some people that live in Kentucky about this, but I do want to. So in downtown Louisville, which is where I'll be staying for the last half of my trip, there is both the Evan Williams Experience and the Jim Beam Urban Stillhouse, I think it's called. But they're like tasting rooms. They're not like the distillery. You guys know I love Knob Creek. I really want to go to Jim Beam's like American, I guess it's called like American Stillhouse. It's like their actual distillery. I would love to go visit there, but it's out of the way. So I am still determining the other ones I'm going to go to while I'm in Kentucky. Um, yeah, it's still kind of a work in progress. I mean, I still have over 2 months to figure it out, so I'm trying to make the most of my trip. So I will let you guys know, like, once I actually plan out my full week or full 5 days, 5 nights of being in Kentucky, I'll definitely share my itinerary because I know it's helpful for people. I used a lot of other people's itineraries to plan mine this time, so definitely will be sharing that with you guys. So, um, wait, Brandon, they let you try Knob Creek straight from the barrel. Like, what tour? Is it the So I know Jim Beam has like an exclusive tour for people that pay like $200 and you get to go on it with like, you know, the master distiller and everything. I forget for the master distiller Jim Beam. Wow, why am I forgetting this? You'll remind me. Anyways, you get to go on the tour with the master distiller. I would if I lived locally, um, I would love to do that. I mean, $200. Yes, it's pricey, but if I didn't have to worry about the hotel, the flights, the car rental, Fred, no, thank you. Oh, hey, what's up, John? Yeah, I forgot for a second. Sorry, I'm at the end of my stream. You can understand. So, yeah, no, I would love to do that, but my problem is I'm having to pay so much for the hotel, the flights, and all that other stuff. Chad and Sarah's like meetup is like over $200, so not in the budget for this time. But yeah, if I lived locally, I would absolutely do that trip. So, Brandon, the standard tour, I've seen a few YouTube videos of just random people that pour a barrel out and try some. Oh my god, Brandon, you're tempting me. I mean, even okay, don't feel bad if like I go and they don't do that. I'm not gonna be upset. But that I've been on the edge. I'm like, oh, God, I love Jim Beam's older products, and I think you convinced me, man. I think I'm gonna do the distillery tour of Jim Beam. I was debating like maybe doing half of the car rental and just like Ubering everywhere in Louisville, but no, I gotta check that out. That sounds awesome. I would love to try Knob Creek straight from the barrel. That would be like a dream of mine. Like I love Knob Creek. You guys know that. So, um, how exciting! Hope you can share tips along the way. Yeah, I thought so. I actually thought about like vlogging the whole experience, but I've had experience trying to do like travel vlogs before, like on this YouTube channel. I feel so awkward filming in public. I just can't do it. I can't walk around the street with a camera in my face. If I was more popular, I'd feel more confident doing it. But like, even my travel videos don't get like, more than a few thousand views. So, um, yeah, I don't know if I can do that, but I will definitely share my tips. One, especially if you're planning to go, like, hit me up. Like, oh, we'll probably have a meetup before then, but yeah, I'm gonna keep track of everything I do and like definitely put out like an itinerary of everything I'm doing. So, they have a tour at 9 a.m. Oh, so Brandon, it's funny you mentioned that because my first, I actually planned to go to Kentucky in April of this year, but I ended up actually going with a Hawaii trip instead. You guys know, but I actually had that planned to go to their 9 a.m. tour, and I was like, God, I have to wake up at 7 and like drive down to Jim Beam and do a whiskey tour at 9 a.m. I was like, oh, that's crazy, but I was up for it. So no, I'm definitely down to that. Especially like it's like a once in a lifetime thing. Not once in a lifetime. Once in a 1 to 2 year. I don't know. We'll see how often I go back. But oh, what's up? Mash and Drum is here. By the way, check out his channel. He's awesome. I always love like rewatching. I never make your live streams like during the week, but I always like rewatch them, watch them after. But yeah, how do I like the new riff? Yeah. So just to recap about this, I love the Bottled and Bond bourbon. I think this is my new go-to mid-range bourbon. Not like as good as like a cask strength whiskey, but their rye I thought is good. I paid $50 for the rye. It's not my favorite rye. I like it a lot, and I think it holds up great in cocktails. I used it in an old fashioned, and I thought it was incredible. So I don't think I'd buy the rye again. I'd love to try their single barrel rye. Haven't had it, but just like their basic Bottled and Bond line, their bourbon's where it's at. I mean, this is $40. Like I cannot complain about this. So it's a quick little recap of my live stream, but yeah, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping in. I really do enjoy your videos. So, Brandon says, we'll talk more this weekend. You got loads to tell me. So, yeah, yeah, I'm so excited to finally meet you. Even though we've like hung out drunk like on hangouts like 3 times now, 3 or 4 times. But yeah, no, it's so good. It'd be so good to meet you. So, oh, you agree with me? Okay, awesome. Glad I'm not alone with that. So, yeah, no, their bourbon is incredible, and I will definitely. I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but my store, I actually had to order this from Florida. That was the closest place that would ship to me in California. But as of this morning at like 9 a.m., my local store just got in stock of their whole lineup except their single barrel rye. So I will be buying New Riff regularly. So that's my ultimate conclusion, which brings me to the end of my stream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Brandon, sorry, I'm going through the list. Brandon, Eric, John, who popped in for a second, and of course the Mash and Drum. So check out everyone's channels that has a channel. Oh, sorry, Juan, you too. Sorry, I was like looking through my chat. I was like, who am I missing? I know I'm missing someone. That's why I like paused for a second. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Glad this stream went a lot smoother than the last one. I do plan to re-review the West. Wow, what's it called? No, not Woodinville. What is the distillery? What is the Seattle-based distillery I reviewed last live stream? Hold on. God, I feel... Sorry. I keep going back to this New Riff sample, so... Sorry about that. What is the... hold on. What? No. Westland? Westward? I get confused because my last review was of an Australian spirit that had a very similar name, which was Starward. So I'm just double-checking. You guys are probably going to tell me before I double-check. Westland. Okay, that's what I thought. I was feeling like I was being stupid by saying Westland. So it is Westland. I'm gonna give them a proper review next time. I'm gonna do I'm not gonna do a live stream. I'm just gonna do a produced video of it. I really like their stuff, and I hate to. My last live stream of them didn't do them justice, so I'm gonna re-record that one for you guys. So, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. John, thank you. Thank you for the mention. Yeah, if you guys. Most of you guys here are subscribed, but if you're watching the replay and you like this type of reviews, I really appreciate the subscription and check out my playlist of other whiskey reviews. I'm really just doing this for fun, and I love chatting with you guys, and I've made such a great I've joined such a great community of whiskey fanatics, and I just want to express my opinions on things. So good. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone for showing up tonight, and so good to see you. And Brandon, I'll see you on Saturday. Mash and Drum, I will see you in your videos. And Juan, I'll see you next meetup. And Eric and John, I will see you sometime soon. So, all right, you guys, have a great night. Enjoy your pours, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new video. All right, see you guys later. Bye.